Welcome to another session on How Did I Do It? I'm Joel Grimes with the Joel Grimes Academy. And I've got a picture here that I shot for a client. It was men's cologne campaign that I worked on. And this perspective is really interesting. It's of a soccer player here, and the client or the art director came to me and said, here's the shot we want, and I had never done an angle like this before. So my first inclination was to get a big piece of glass, somehow set that glass up so I get underneath it or get the camera underneath it, and I think that's been done. So started researching on glass, and well, number one, it's very expensive to get glass thick enough to where someone can stand on it. That's number one. Number two is I don't think I had time. Well, our time restraint was I had to get something figured out pretty quick. So I think I made a few phone calls, and then I thought, you know what, let me see if I can come up with a different idea. So here's what I did, and here's what I want to encourage you to, as you problem solve, you have to think differently than how you've thought probably the last 10, if you've been a photographer, say 10 years. You have to think differently than how you probably started out in photography, well, I've been doing this for 40 plus years, because we have new options, new tools, new things of solving problems today that we didn't have, say, 10 years ago. So one of the things I always say that is, if you have a photograph, and this is not true all the way across the board, but on a general rule, this is what I believe. If you have a photograph today, and you're not using the current tools that we have, like I'd say Photoshop tools, options that we have, I have tools like the Cam Ranger, which allow me to bracket ISO. Something I could have done, obviously, years ago when we didn't have digital, but you have to do something, and using today's images, you have to apply something that's current to your photograph to make it stand out among all the sea of images that are being sort of presented to people in the marketplace. Do something that's clever, do something that's interesting, do something that's a wow factor, do something that someone scratches their head and said, how do you do that? So in this case, shooting from an angle, sort of from the ground up, I'm not the first to do this, folks, but this was the first time I had ever done it. So to solve the problem, I decided to do it in, well, it's actually 4 parts, but primarily 3 parts. So here, let me explain how I did it. I took my camera, it was probably a 24-70 lens. And this is another thing why Cam Ranger is really cool, or an app that allows you to see what your camera's seeing on your phone or your iPad or whatever, computer. So I can lay the phone down. I took a sandbag, positioned it on the ground, and then I could use my Cam Ranger and look through that lens, or look through like I'm looking through the lens. I don't have to get down underneath it. So I got the position. I took a white piece of paper, seamless paper, and ran it over the top. I had a studio that I had some stuff. There was some stuff up top, so I just ran a white piece of paper so that I could do a clean cutout. Then what I did was I set up, there was a table that I had, a work table, that was probably about this tall, up to 35 to 40 inches tall. So I had originally him put his foot on the table, so he's standing up above, and I had a big, huge light stand that was one of my big Avengers. That's not just a little wimpy light stand. It's like for video. It's huge. And so he took his hand and he held onto that light stand and leaned out and lifted his knee up, like he's in that position. I kind of coached him. I would probably have the table and stuff in there, but it was primarily to get the center part of him, minus his left leg and his right hand. So I wasn't worried about his left leg and his right hand. So he's leaning out, and then I get this position, click. Get a few of those, and of course I had my 3 light edge approach that I do my sports stuff. So an edge light on one side, edge light on the other side, and then I had my overhead light fill in the shadowish part of him. So I explain all that when I do my lighting sessions. Then what I did was I took a stack of apple boxes, and this table that I had was on rollers. So I had actually 2 sets of apple boxes. So one set he stood on with his right leg, and then actually it was only 1 set because he stood on that 1 set. We rolled the table out to where his left foot was sticking out into pure air and just in an open space. I photographed that part. So now I had a big stack of apple boxes in the middle, and this foot wasn't perfect because it didn't have to be. All I was worried about was the shin guard-ish to the foot, to his cleats. And then I made exposures of that, and then we took and had him, I think we shifted put the table back in, so he had both the table, the set of apple boxes, and then we just pushed the hand out, or the light stand out, shot another frame. So you know where I'm going here. I'm taking 3 frames, and I'm going to piece them all together in Photoshop. Now you think that might be difficult, but so long as you're the millimeters of your lens, you're not zooming in and out, you're not changing the distance, so everything's perfectly going to line up. And I had to move that leg just a little bit in Photoshop to line it up, do a little warping, and then with the mask, paint it right in. Same with the hand. Now in this case, I put the ball, so what I did was I just took my assistant, he kind of palmed the ball, I think, and he shot over, we put it in the same lighting, we just shot over the top, and then I cut his arm out, whatever. And so we had the same look on the ball, and then I drop it in. So it covered his hand a little bit. And I moved that ball around trying to figure out where to put it. But when you take the ball out, his hand was actually fit perfectly. So the client, I think we might have moved the ball a little bit, but the point is that was the 4th shot. So it's really done in 4 shots, but let's just take the ball out for a second. I did it in 3 shots. So the reason why this is so important to understand is because when you're in the commercial advertising arena, or not just that, you're doing other stuff, even if you're shooting weddings or whatever it is, you're going to have a problem and you have to solve it. And you think, what do I have today that I didn't have 10 years ago? How can I solve this? And so in my mind, and this is a few years ago, but in my mind now, I think in parts and pieces. So I just did, on the Jewelgrams Academy, a huge retouch that I did for Fiat Chrysler Automotive, a campaign I did, and I showed how I strobe my subjects, the car or the truck and van, all those different, we had Jeeps, we had a whole bunch of 6 different cars, how I strobe things in parts and pieces. And so that does 2 things. Well, one, it looks like almost like it's a composite when it's done. It's not, it's all shot on location, but it allows me to not have to light the whole scene and get all the light stands and everything out of the picture. I don't care about that. I strobe my one subject, move the lights, move him out, strobe another subject, move the lights, move him out, strobe the vehicle, move everything out, shoot a background plate, and then I put it all together in Photoshop. And so I go through that whole retouch. It's actually a really amazing, I call it platography, working in plates. So this is similar. Now I didn't, at this time was pretty new at doing this, and I've gotten a lot better since then. But I just got a call from a client that was looking for this type of scenario, only more lifestyle. Didn't get the shoot. I don't know what happened, or didn't get the job, but the point is it's a really neat technique, and so you could do this, and it's not that difficult. So if you don't have a Cam Ranger, which is that, if you don't know what a Cam Ranger is, you connect it to your camera, it talks to your, it's the go-between, so it sends an image to your laptop, iPhone, iPad, and you can do things like you can focus, you can go live view, obviously, you can do even focus stacking, you can do bracketing, you can change all the settings on your aperture and shutter speeds, so you don't have to touch your camera. And so it's a pretty cool little tool. It's about $300, and I've had one for 7 years, somewhere around there. So early on, I got one, and it's like one of the best purchases I've ever made. Now there's some other options out there. Tether Tools has an option. I don't think it brackets ISO, but it'll do everything else. Someone just emailed me today and said Sony has an app that you can put on your phone to help talk to your Sony camera. There's all these different things out there on the market today that are pretty incredible. You solve a problem. That's the whole thing. So I would say this. Try doing a simple scenario. Maybe you have, well, I just gave a good friend of mine a scenario where he does all action adventure and kayaking, canoeing, mountain climbing, all this stuff. And I said to him, I said, if you go to a lake, because we were just at a lake, and we were where they unload all the canoes and stuff, and it was kind of busy. And if I had a client shoot, let's say, and I didn't have the whole park reserved or the lake reserved, I could set up a Subaru, whatever, if I'm doing a Subaru shoot, and I got mom and dad taking some kayaks out, and they got 2 kids, and I could do that in parts. I mean, I could shoot the Subaru with them pulling it, and there's a clutter going off over here, and so I shoot that part, and then later what I do is I wait until people move out, shoot another frame, and so maybe there's still someone out there. I wait until they move across, shoot another frame. So in Photoshop, I can take and put all that together. So I'm not worried about if clutter is moving in the background. I can very easily take that out with one frame as it moves across. Whether it's a UPS truck that comes in the back of your shot, I've had that too, where I'm setting up doing a lifestyle shoot, a UPS truck comes in the back, I'm like, clients, no worries, no worries, no worries. It's not in this section right here. I'll shoot the background plate and it'll be gone when I can paint it out. So think differently than what you thought maybe in 10 years ago, and it gives you options to solve problems that you might run into. So this was fun, and when an art director or somebody comes to you and says, here's the impossible, don't believe it. There's a solution to be had, and it's really fun to solve it, and that's what I get into. So there you have our soccer guy, and that's how I did it.